Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. And again, Monica, thank you for your testimony and advocacy and your personal courage. God bless you. I could recognize the group up with me by name. I think I said to them backstage that we probably don't have enough time for that, but I'm deeply humbled by the folks who have come out today. A cavalcade of legislative stars, advocates from all over the state, labor leaders, concerned citizens, to each and every one of them who are standing with me or sitting before me. I say thank you. It means a lot. It's a statement, and that's what we need to make, given what we're dealing with, a statement. I want to, in particular, recognize two members of the Assembly, Mila J.C. and Raj Mukherjee, and we're going to hear from each of them in a few moments. But they're representing, as I say, a cavalcade of stars of elected officials and leaders. So thank you all for joining us today. 5 months ago, when I signed the Freedom of Reproductive Choice Act into law, I did so to ensure that every generation of New Jerseyans would be guaranteed the right to control their own bodies and to decide whether and when to become a parent. We were able to achieve this historic legislation, and it was not easy, thanks in great part to the persistent and outstanding leadership of several folks, and by name, former Senator Loretta Weinberg, former Senate President Steve Sweeney, Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, and our current Senate President Nick Scuteri. I thank each of them and all the other folks who stood with us then and now for their foresight and their leadership. But at that time, there were also some who claimed that we were being alarmist and that the Supreme Court would never overturn Roe v. Wade. That was 5 months ago. Today, it is clearer than ever that in the coming weeks, a right-wing majority on the U.S. Supreme Court likely will take a wrecking ball to 50 years of its own precedent and, for the very first time in American history, overturn a decision in order to diminish our rights. Here, as almost always is the case, saying "I told you so" brings exactly no satisfaction. Now, as we revisit the work we did in January to codify New Jerseyans' right to reproductive freedom into law, we remain steadfast in our commitment to ensuring that all New Jerseyans have access to reproductive health care, including abortion, and we stand with women across the nation who are facing inevitable hardships on the horizon. Today, I would like to announce that we are proposing legislation to ensure access to the reproductive rights we recently codified into law, because we know that without access, rights mean nothing. The proposed legislation revisits two very important provisions that were left out of the final Freedom of Reproductive Choice Act. The first part codifies into state law regulatory changes that expand New Jersey's pool of potential abortion providers to include advanced practice nurses, midwives, and physician assistants. The second part mandates that insurance plans in New Jersey cover abortion with no cost sharing or out-of-pocket costs. A person's ability to access abortion care should not depend on how much money they make. If we're going to guarantee the right to an abortion, we need to guarantee access to an abortion. In addition, I'm recommending two new proposals. The first protects medical providers and patients who provide or receive abortion care in New Jersey from legal actions initiated by states which have outlawed abortion. And the second establishes a reproductive health access fund. The fund would provide clinical training grants to expand the number of healthcare providers with abortion training, grants to at-risk healthcare sites for security, and additional funding to assist providers in providing, in turn, reproductive health care services to uninsured and underinsured women. I hope this proposed legislation makes our position in New Jersey obvious. I hope it brings hope to all of the advocates, many of whom are here, who are working so hard across the nation and this state to protect reproductive rights. And I hope it brings relief to anyone in another state who needs to come to New Jersey for necessary and safe health care. And on that note, I would like to add that we will not be cooperating with any out-of-state investigation into our health care providers. So we will not be cooperating with any out-of-state investigation into health care providers that seek to punish anyone, patient, provider, counselor, friend, Uber driver, you name it, for providing abortion care. I am alarmed by the potential reversal of Roe v. Wade, and I think we're probably all in violent agreement as it relates to that alarm. Taking these steps will not only ensure that all women have access to the reproductive rights enshrined in New Jersey law, but will also, and just as importantly, I think, send a message to women across the nation that we simply will not go backwards. We understand the threat that restricting abortion care poses to so many. We understand that doing so pushes pregnant individuals outside of the medical landscape and places them in danger of surveillance, punishment, and criminalization. No one should be criminalized for getting the care they need. Abortion is health care, and health care decisions should be left up to the individual. Your body belongs to you. I do not know how to be more clear. Once again, I am proud to see our state leading the way forward, and I'm grateful to all those, again, who stand beside us, including on this very day, either standing or sitting with us. I want to especially thank the Thrive Coalition, and again, reiterate my thanks to my friend and former Senator Loretta Weinberg, whose work laid the foundation for today's announcement. I want to also share again, as I did in January, and Loretta was at my side then, that I understand how personal, complex, and challenging this issue can be for many, including yours truly. As our state legislators take stock of what is happening to reproductive rights around the country, I look forward to the dialogue and hope they will move this legislation quickly, as we have no time to waste. And now it is my great honor to introduce another